Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. Welcome to Tuesday morning. My name is Willie Lawson. Uh, this broadcast is brought to you by fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. We trust that you are well this glorious, fantastic day. This is a day that the Lord has made, and we will be glad in it. How about that? How about that? Again, super glad to be here. Super glad to be, behind the microphone and in front of the camera. We finally got these things operating together. I know we have a show, audio show that is not the same as the video show that's on the website. I know they're different. It didn't start off being that way, but they are certainly different. But it's also good stuff. It's also good stuff. So if you're interested, please do us a favor. Do us a large solid. Send us an email. Let us know where you're listening. And I know that there are people, because I see the analytics, there are people listening from all over the world. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think about how we here in the States and independent media see ourselves and see our situations and our political situation, our social situation. We'd love to hear from you. And let us know how you're listening, where you're listening. Are you on Spreaker? Are you on Spotify? Where are you listening? And where are you listening from? Where in the world are you listening from? Are you from England, Ireland, Scotland? Are you from the continent of Africa, the continent of Asia? Are you in South America? Where are you? Where in the world are Morning Report listeners? Or viewers? Are you watching the videos? Have you seen the videos? Do you know that there's videos? We'd love to know everything about you as it relates to us. We'd love to hear from you. So it is I sometimes feel like I do say the same thing over and over again. And I say the same thing over and over again because the same thing happens over and over again. We're going to start the morning report on this Tuesday morning with because the Labor Day weekend is coming up. For those of you who are out of the country and you don't understand, back in the early part of the 1900s, the labor unions managed to get a national holiday on the calendar, and we call it Labor Day. And it's the day that we're supposed to salute labor. It is, yes, you're right. It is a holiday based on a socialistic ideal. It is. It's because it's about celebrating labor. The unions got this holiday passed as a national holiday, and a lot of people take the day off. Theme parks are open, obviously. Places of fun are open. There are a lot of, well, frankly, I think most retail in the States is open this day, but a lot of people have the day. It's a bank holiday. A lot of people have the day off from school, that kind of thing. Actually, I have the day off. There won't be a Monday morning report next week on the 5th. So, but like all the time, if you have a holiday on a Monday, people say, you know what, it's the whole weekend is a holiday, right? And what happens in places like Chicago, which albeit is one of the largest cities in the world, definitely one of the largest cities in America, we've got we often get trouble. I know that you hear about gun violence in America, but if there were about 4 or 5 cities that if we could eliminate them, then our gun violence in America is less than a third of the most of the world. So a lot of this gun violence happens in a very small portion of the country. As a matter of fact, over the past weekend, there were 35 people shot and 8 people killed during this past weekend in Mayor Lightfoot's Chicago. Breitbart News noted that there were 15 people shot, 6 of them fatally, Friday into Saturday night alone. The deaths included a double homicide in which the police were called Saturday morning at Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. because 2 men were lying in the street. Police arrived on the scene to find both men had been shot numerous times. They've been murdered on purpose. The On Monday morning, ABC7 Chicago Sun-Times reported the total number of weekend shooting victims had reached at least 35, with 2 additional shooting fatalities. Around 2 a.m., nothing good happens at 2 a.m. The only things that are open are ERs and legs. We heard that on some TikTok thing. That was funny. Around 2 a.m. on Sunday, police found a victim, quote, in the 4900 block of West Superior Street, end quote, who had been shot in the neck. Unfortunately, the individual died later at the hospital. On Sunday night, a 46-year-old woman was in a car with a 42-year-old man on, quote, South Vincennes Avenue near Monterey Avenue when occupants of another car opened fire on them. The 42-year-old man attempted to drive to a police station for help, but the car chased him down and more shots were fired, leaving the man in critical condition and the woman fatally wounded. Now, this sounds like some gang stuff, doesn't it? It doesn't sound like some random people who were, I don't know, big Second Amendment people and militia. It doesn't sound like that, does it? The Sun-Times homicide database shows that there were 439 people killed in Chicago, January 1st, 2022 through August 28th, 2022. There's a website called heyjackass.com that keeps up with all the murders and violence in Chicago. August to date, 53 shot and killed, 312 people shot and wounded, for a total of 365 people shot and 64 homicides. In the summer of joy, there have been 204 people shot and killed, with 1,036 people shot and wounded. A total shot 200 to 1,240, I'm sorry, with 222 homicides. Year to date, 424 people shot and killed, 1,981 people shot and wounded, for a total of 2,405 people shot, with 466 homicides. So that makes it every 2 hours and 24 minutes per person is shot in Chicago. Every 12 hours and 21 minutes, a person is murdered. 2 people a day are murdered in Chicago. Every 2.5 hours, a person is shot. That's through August 28th. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Now, as far as police involved shootings, in 2022, year to date, there's one person who's been killed by police. One. 13 people have been shot and wounded. So apparently they're getting really good at nicking people. Because this time last year, well, I mean, all of last year, there were 13 people wounded, but there were 9 killed. Only 1 killed this year. A high in 2011 of 23 people killed by police. In 2011, right before Obama became president, while Obama was still in Chicago being a community organizer, 23 people were shot and killed by police. In 2012, when Obama entered the White House, there were 49 people wounded, only 8 people killed by police in Chicago. In Chicago, the number one cause of death is a homicide at 91.8%. 98.81% of them were gunshots. There was also trauma at 4.1%, stabbing, strangulation. Who knows how they killed them? Child abuse And I'm not sure what that is even. But there's another one. Carjackings. Carjackings are at 980 this year. There were 1,848. So crime is up. And the sad part is what we know, that the largest number of victims are young adults between the ages of 18 and 35. Again, in a place where it is the most difficult to get a gun. This is, this is probably the most awful stat, but amazingly darkly entertaining stat. The 2022 shot in the junkometer. People who manage to shoot themselves in their junk, usually because they've got a weapon in their pants or something and it goes off and they manage to become transgender. There's been 23 people year to date. In the shot in the ass meter, 88 people. And again, it's the same thing. They've got a gun in the back and they pull it out and it goes off and they shoot themselves in the ass. Or they're running from someone and get shot in the ass. It's crazy. Absolutely incredible. But these people are looking to make sure that you, the law-abiding citizen, who's never shot anybody, you got to give up your gun for the safety of the children. Crazy. Now I know that Joe Biden was elected to be, for adults to come back to government and for us to bring the nation together and all that stuff. But we told you a long time ago, you sit up in a chair, we told you a long time ago that the left was not interested in bringing anybody together. The left was not only interested, because they told us, in getting rid of Trump, but it wasn't just Trump that was going to be the problem. It was the Trump voters, it was the Trump supporters, were all guilty by association. And in this article by Joel Pollack, this is from yesterday. Democrat leaders increasingly demonize Republican voters, not just the politicians, but the voters. You. President Joe Biden plans to host a, quote, unity summit at the White House last month after telling Democrat donors last week that Republicans who support Donald Trump were guilty of semi-fascism. His comments came after New York Governor Kathy Hochul told Republicans who don't like the job Democrats are doing in her state to just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong. Right? She later claimed that I'm just talking about the Republican candidates, not the voters. Well, yeah, because it came back to her, like, you just told a bunch of these people that we need to vote for us that happen to be registered Republican, that you don't want their vote. You don't even want them in the state. And if Democrats had their way, the Republicans would not be welcomed in Florida either. Charlie Crist, the party's nominee to challenge Governor Ron DeSantis, said last week, those who support the governor should stay with him and vote for him. And I don't want your vote. Which is easy, because I'm like, yeah, okay. Gotcha, Charlie. Gotcha, CC. No worries. You're not getting my vote. And my heart is not full of hate. As a matter of fact, I'm doing exactly what you want. I'm helping you out, bro. I'm helping you out the door. I'm helping you out of politics. Maybe you can get your life together. Maybe you can finally be who you really are. Yeah, y'all know, right? Y'all know. We don't. Don't say it. We know. Anyway. The Democrats rhetoric is not new. Then presidential candidate Hillary Clinton drew criticism in 2016 for telling donors that Trump voters were deplorables. There's a portion of them that are deplorables and irredeemable. But now the hatred is out in the open and is being repeated by candidates up and down the ticket. Democratic pundit Juan Williams tried to justify Biden's rhetoric on Fox News Sunday by citing the Capitol riot on January 6th. But Karl Rove noted that Biden's inaugural address, promising unity, was delivered in its aftermath. Unity, bipartisanship. That's not what they want. They want you to acquiesce. They want you to lay down. And if you don't, it's semi-fascism. The political danger of the Democrats' hateful rhetoric ought not be underestimated. Republican voters already feel threatened by cancel culture in the workplace, for example, in the sense that there is a double standard of justice, allowing left-wing activists to riot while imprisoning ardent Trump supporters for trespassing in the Capitol. The backlash could show up at the ballot box in November, but regardless of the election results, the wounds will take a long time to heal. Yes, and they shouldn't heal. Just like Kamala Harris said about the riots. They're not going to stop, and they shouldn't stop. We should always remember this and never forget. This is what these people think about you. This is what these people think about who you are, and everything you represent, and everyone you represent. That's what they think about you. All right, we're gonna get a little break. We'll be back with more of Tuesday morning of the morning report here on fightbackmedia.com right after these messages. All right. Welcome back to the program. We appreciate you being here. Again, my name is Willie Watson, and this is the morning report. This is Tuesday morning. We call this Tuesday morning. Why? Because it's Tuesday morning. And why not? It is Tuesday morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning. Let's see here. I want to make sure that we get the rest of it because the rest of it's super important. We did this one. No, we did this. We did that one, and we did the other one already. Just making sure we get it all done for you. All right. Emails reveal that Biden's DHS still knowingly releasing COVID positive border crossers into the United States. Now, we were told that we need to do everything we can to shut this virus down, right? As a matter of fact, the president said that he wasn't going to shut the country down, but he was going to shut the virus down, not the country. And I guess, and okay, so I won't make fun that the president and the first lady have both recently contracted coronavirus. But that's not the part I'm worried about. That's not the part I'm worried about. The part I'm worried about is this. The internal emails of the Department of Homeland Security, exclusively reviewed by Breitbart News, reveal that the agency is continually to knowingly release COVID-19 positive people, border crossers, and illegal aliens into the United States. More than a year after the president's DHS was first accused of releasing COVID positive border crossers and illegal aliens into the U.S. interior as part of an expansive catch and release operation, the agency is still knowingly carrying out such releases. Internal emails among Border Patrol officials reveal recent instances where border crossers and illegal aliens were tested for the coronavirus, and after testing positive, they were released into the state of Arizona. On July 26, 5 female border crossers, at least some of which were COVID positive, were transported on a bus from DHS custody to the Monte Vista Church, an email shows. Now it says, please ensure that you will take all the required precautions, including wearing masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, and other personal protection equipment you think essential. The bus will be transported directly to the NGO and will not be stopping at a PA or Phoenix. They will already be served by Yuma BP due to being COVID positive. That's Yuma Border Patrol, by the way, not British Petroleum. Sources close to Breitbart News said that Biden's DHS is actually not deporting border crossers and illegal aliens when they test positive for coronavirus. In one of these cases, a husband and wife who had been taken into custody by DHS after crossing the U.S.-Mexico border, the wife tested positive for coronavirus while her husband tested negative. As a result, despite being eligible for Title 42 removal, the COVID positive wife was allowed to stay in the U.S. while her COVID negative husband was deported. Huh? In a statement to Breitbart News, the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, spokesman said the agency, quote, provides migrants with personal protection equipment from the moment they are taken into custody, and migrants are required to keep masks on at all times, including when they are transferred or in the process of being released. The spokesperson continued, if anyone exhibits signs of illness, in Border Patrol custody, they are referred to a local health systems for appropriate testing, diagnosis, and treatment. CBP takes responsibility to prevent the spread of the communicable diseases very seriously. We value our partners in the community whose work is critical to moving individuals safely out of the Border Patrol and U.S. Border Patrol custody and through the appropriate immigration pathway. The revelation comes after Biden and his top DHS official fended off questions last year about the agency's seemingly common practice of releasing COVID positive border patients across the border. In August of last year, the former Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner Mark Morgan estimated that in Biden's first month, listen to this, as president, DHS has potentially released some 40,000 COVID positive border crossers and illegal aliens into the United States. At the time, Biden's DHS was forced to admit in federal court that there had been significant increased rates of COVID positive border crossers and illegal aliens arriving at the southern border. The rates at which encountered non-citizens for positive testing for COVID-19 have increased significantly in recent weeks. And that's led to increasing numbers in the Border Patrol personnel being isolated and hospitalized. DHS's David Shanahan admitted in the August 2021 court brief. You know, from February 21st to May 22nd, more than 1 million border crossers and illegal aliens have been released into American communities by the Biden administration. Release figures for June and July have not yet been disclosed. It's a mess. So don't let, it's been a bit, but don't let any of these people make you think they give a rat's butt about COVID. They don't. They don't. No way they can. They don't. All right. Let's see if we can. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, let's get to the list. Give me just a second here. Hang on just a second. Let me scroll to the right. I want to get to the right thing here. That's important. Anything? And I'm not getting there. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Maybe. Maybe. All right. We want to know, as a nation, we want to know that the president of the United States is mentally up to the task. So there's a poll recently been released that 59% believe Joe Biden should release his cognitive test. 59% of voters believe President Joe Biden should take and release a cognitive test, according to McLaughlin and Associates polling published on Friday. The poll asked, do you think that Joe Biden should take a cognitive health test and release it publicly? 59 said the president should release a cognitive test, while only 30% said that he shouldn't. 11% declined to answer. Since McLaughlin and Associates were polling the audience in December of 2021, about 60% of people said that they wanted Biden to release his cognitive test. According to an April poll, a majority of voters said that Biden is unfit to be president, and they doubt his mental ability. 62% said that he is not fit to be president because he is too old. Additional polling, around 59% of voters are worried about Biden's mental and physical fitness. Only 35% of respondents said they are not worried, compromising 18% of people who are not very worried, and 17% who are not worried at all. The polling follows notable incidents. In June, Biden flashed a note card with detailed instructions on how to act as commander-in-chief. You enter the Roosevelt Room and say hello to the participants. The note card instructed Biden, you take your seat. What a nightmare. Biden also fell off his bike after his foot became stuck in the cage pedal. He struggled to climb Air Force One stairs. Remember tripping and fumbling? Remember that? So 38 Republican lawmakers, including former President Trump's former White House physician, now Representative Ronnie Jackson, Republican of Texas, have written a letter to Biden demanding he take a cognitive test, citing signs of mental decline. Quote, Biden is unwell. He is unfit for office. He is incoherent, incapacitated, and confused, said Senator Rick Scott from Florida in a statement. The most effective thing Joe Biden can do is solve the inflation crisis he created is to resign. The McLaughlin and Associates poll sampled 1,000 voters from August 20th to 24th. No margin of error was provided. Wow. Wow. All right, when we go to break, we'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. All right, well, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope that you've enjoyed this edition of the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. If you want to help share, the best way is to share. It is to click the share, little share arrow, aim it at your friends, take the URL, put that on your Facebook page, do whatever you can. You are our marketing department. Even if you're sitting there tonight, naked in a beanbag chair, eating a bag of Cheetos, you are our marketing department. You're the best we got. You're the only that we've got. So please, if you want to know what you can do, you can share. Please share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. All right, let's finish this up. Let's finish this bad boy up. Trump raid. We want to know. There was some talk that the FBI gathered some documents that they shouldn't have gathered. Some documents that were between Trump and his attorneys, and even if they're looking for actually for anything, especially if they're looking for something criminal, a client attorney privilege is still in effect, even with Donald Trump. And I know that bothers some of y'all, but even with Donald Trump, attorney-client privilege is still in effect. And it seems like they didn't care. As a matter of fact, Lee Smith says people that he trusts say that what they were looking for were some evidence of Russian collusion. I think the best way to understand this is in the context of a 6-year-long operation targeting Donald Trump's aides, and Donald Trump's supporters. Smith said on Sirius XM Breitbart News Sunday with host Joel Pollack. I have different colleagues and people whose insight and whose wisdom I trust very much, and they believe that what the FBI was looking for were documents related to what the FBI called Crossfire Hurricane investigation. But what most of the rest of us know as Russiagate operations meant to target candidate Trump, and then President-elect Trump, and then President Donald Trump, Smith said that people who speculation he was relying on have much more insight and much more knowledge about the FBI's operation than he. Smith also noted that the FBI's agents organizing the raid on Mar-a-Lago had been involved in the FBI's ostensible investigation on Trump for years. He recalled a report from the Real Clear Investigations titled FBI Unit Leading Mar-a-Lago Probe, earlier ran discredited Trump-Russian investigation. It's the same people and it's the same thing. It's the same people and it's the same thing. But as we say goodbye, I'm going to tell you something that other people aren't going to tell you. Between now and November 8th, don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. Think about it afterwards. Stay focused. Stay laser focused on the midterm elections and getting candidates elected, doing what you have to do to make sure that elections are as fair and free as humanly possible. Whether you have to figure out how to put a camera 24 hours on a voting box somewhere that's out in the middle of God's country, nobody's got an eye on it, put an eye on it. Find them and put an eye on them. If you got to take a few days off work to help save the republic, to make elections fair and free, then it's the least you can do. It is absolutely the least you can do. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Thank you ever so much. Peace.